you just heard CNN's Harry Enton that voters generally back Trump's immigration policies. Today in the Oval Office, President Trump said illegal immigration was, quote, the biggest reason he won re-election. He might be right about that. Do you think that your party is missing something on this issue?
Thanks for having me, Jake. I'd question that polling because when you tell people the stories, you get very different answers. Ask somebody whether they think an Afghani national who helped the U.S. troops find Osama bin Laden and now feels threatened at home and is here on an asylum case because they can't be sure they'll be safe at home and is under temporary protected status but not here legally yet. Should that person be deported? Should a dreamer who has fought for our military, should that person be deported? Should a farm worker who travels back and forth with the seasonal crop, should that person be deported? Should somebody who came here to study for college, fell in love, had a kid, and now has overstayed their visa? These personal stories, people have a much different answer.
Do you think we in the media aren't telling those stories?
These people all, but
I mean, the media, look, the media tells plenty of stories like that. And, you know, we're not asking about individual A or individual B. We're talking about the deportation policy writ large. And there has been a change in public opinion on this in the last 8 years, away from your position and towards President Trump's position.
How did Democrats find themselves in this position so eagerly to align themselves with MS-13?
Honestly, because the Democrats have been beaten so badly by Donald Trump, the only thing they can do is oppose him, even when they're going to stand with a gang member who had a legal deportation order, was in the country illegally, and was deported. And they would rather stand with that person than stand with the American people who want criminal illegal aliens deported out of this country. The polling has said that consistently. Donald Trump won a mandate last November to do this, but they don't care. They're just so caught up in opposing Donald Trump, they don't realize that they're opposing the American people. So if Chris Van Hollen or any other Democrat wants to go to El Salvador to go have brunch with Kilmar Garcia, be my guest, but all you're going to do is lose more elections in the United States.
I think when Democrats look back on this moment in history, they realize how much of a mistake it was to side with non-citizens over the people that pay your salaries, vote for you to be in elections. And essentially, your job is supposed to put them as priority. And what the Democrats are doing with this, as you saw from the intro, a Democrat got confronted with a poll number saying 61% of independents, high independent here, supports Donald Trump's deportation efforts. And the fact that they're making all these excuses, using the judge system, the court system, doing all this stuff, and not realizing what the American people have just experienced over the last 4 years, it is baffling to me. I'll give you an example. A nation in which one administration can allow millions of unvetted illegals to enter into the country, but require that a court vet each and every deportation decision in an individual adjudicated case, will soon lose the value our democratic system was intended to preserve. This is what the Democrats are doing. So you tell me that one administration, Biden's administration, is allowed to bring in unvetted, right? Because in the day, if you're talking about, oh, we're trying to make sure the president is doing their job, right? So when Congress passed a law where the president must spend money that's allocated for certain things, and he doesn't have the ability to discretionary power to decide whether he should spend this money or not because it's already been preserved by Congress. But on the other hand, judges don't come in and try to put injunctions on the Biden administration for not preserving or protecting the border of the United States of America. But then when Trump administration come in and wants to do the exact same thing, but in an opposite direction, all of a sudden, all these court cases, all these injunctions come out. Make it make sense, Democrats. And the Democrats they don't make sense. They never do. And this type of hypocrisy, I think, is what's really pushing independents away from the Democratic Party. I'll give you an example. Obama, the current holder of the title Deporter-in-Chief. According to the Migration Policy Institution and ACLU, approximately 75% of deportation under the Obama administration were non-adjudicated removals, meaning they bypassed immigration court hearings and judicial oversight. In the year 2012 alone, 313,000 non-adjudicated removed occurred compared to 1,400 in 1995. These removals often involved expedited removals or administrative removals, where the Department of Homeland Security agents, such as Border Patrol or ICE agents, made decisions without involving any immigration judge. Did you hear one word about this from the media? No, you did not. And this is the kind of thing that get the media in trouble, that gets the media this brand of being Democrat propaganda, because they never are critical. It seems like they're never critical of their own bias. They're never critical of the Democratic Party. And when they do situations like this, it seems like their only thing is oppose Trump. And as you saw from the intro, it kind of summarized everything that's going wrong with the Democratic Party right now. And I want to show this clip of Chris Von Hollen, who was the senator that went and visited Kilmar Garcia.
President Trump says that some of Abrego Garcia's tattoos signify that he's a member of MS-13. In 2019, police alleged a confidential informant claimed that Abrego Garcia was an active MS-13 member. His wife and his attorney deny that, of course. Can you say with absolute certainty that he is not, nor has he ever been a member of the MS-13 gang? And did you ask him point blank?
Well, Dana, what Donald Trump is trying to do here is change the subject. The subject at hand is that he and his administration are defying a court order to give Abrego Garcia his due process rights. They are trying to litigate on social media what they should be doing in the courts. They need to put up or shut up in the courts. Let me tell you, and I decided to write this down so I could be absolutely accurate as to what Federal District Court Judge Zinnes said about these allegations by the Trump administration. Quote, "No evidence linking Abrego Garcia to MS-13 or any terrorist activity has been presented to the court." That's where to litigate this. It's been litigated in many other places. So I'm not going to get into the details, because the whole purpose of our court system is for them to adjudicate these things, not for Donald Trump to go off on social media.
Yeah, you're right. They have not, there hasn't been a court hearing for them to put forward evidence in the first place, which is your whole point. But since you were the one person to have met with him, and since this is a thing, you say on social media, it's what we hear from Donald Trump and Republicans every day, all day long, you didn't ask him?
I didn't ask him that because I know what his answer is.
Democrats, just quit. Just drop this issue, because this party, it's like you're almost an advertisement board for Donald Trump. Donald Trump says you don't work in the interest of the American people. You put America last. Trump says he puts America first. And this stuff is a prime example of what he can do. Like, any interaction with these Democrats, it's advertisement for why you support Donald Trump. And this is why Trump has a higher approval rating than any Democrat there. Like, they like to talk about, Donald Trump's approval rating is low. It's at 44%. But they don't ever like to talk about themselves. You had a 21% approval rating in some polls. The highest I've seen a Democrat approval rating is 25%, I think. 28%, sorry. And that's me being generous. 28% at your best. At Donald Trump's best, 50%. At his worst, 42%, I saw somewhere. So even at your best, you're still unpopular compared to Donald Trump. And I don't understand the Democrats. The Democrats, I feel like they think they can tell people what to do, instead of being like, no. We have eyes, we have ears. We've seen and heard everything you did over the last 4 years. You said that, oh yeah, we're vetting these people that's coming over the border. Then you found out they weren't unvetted. Then crime started rising in certain areas. You had Venezuela de Agua about to start a turf war with Chicago gangs, and all the Chicago residents were scared as hell. This is Joe Biden's administration. But you want to ignore all those inconveniences because for some reason you want illegals in this country. And no one can explain to me why, other than it's due to a political benefit on their side. They know illegals provide some type of political benefit for the Democratic Party. Now, I made some articulations already. It helps you boost your census numbers. It gives more disproportional power, gives you more House seats because you can count illegals as part of your census data to give yourself more electoral votes, more congressional seats. That's short term. Long term, if you give these people the right to vote, there's a 66% chance they'll vote for a Democrat. These are the kind of things that it's like they don't want to acknowledge that Americans are noticing about illegal immigration and how you guys are essentially using them as pawns to stack the deck in Democrats' favor. But I digress.
First of all, I'm more than happy to hear the congressman say they're all going to El Salvador. I think for Republicans, this just confirms what we have believed about the Democratic Party and why it currently has a 21% approval rating in Congress. Look where the energy in the Democratic Party is. It's around retrieving illegal aliens from El Salvador. It's around fighting for these college campuses that have been rife with anti-Semitism. It's around biological males who want to play in girls' sports. This is why they are losing to Donald Trump every day, because the energy that Democrats feel comes on all these issues that are fundamentally not where the American people are.
Congressman, one second. Congressman, can I give you the chance to respond to that?
Donald Trump. Yeah, I mean, it's Donald Trump that's actually losing the support of the American people. Donald Trump's not focused on lowering the costs of housing, not focused on lowering the price of goods. He's out there deporting people that have legal status to be here, revoking student visas from students that are contributing to this country.
He doesn't have legal status to be here, Congressman. He has a deportation order. You're going to go to El Salvador. You're going to go to maybe go to.
And the funny part is, Democrats also don't want to acknowledge the fact that Biden has been giving temporary status. So when they say, "Oh, they've been given legal status," is it really legal status? It sounds like, "Yo, okay, you came here illegally. Joe Biden didn't want to deport you, so he gave you temporary status here." And then Democrats run around and say, "Oh yeah, they got legal status. They got legal status." But there's no court. But no federal judge came out and tried to do a court injunction on Joe Biden. Hey, Joe Biden, how can you give temporary status to an individual that broke your laws to come into this country in the first place? Courts don't ask those kind of questions, but they ask Donald Trump every tooth and nail before he can deport one of these individuals. Make it make sense. So one president can unilaterally, if it benefits or it's in the purview of these judges, which many of them are liberal, if it's in their purview, oh no, you can do whatever you want. Joe Biden, go ahead, Joe Biden. Donald Trump do so, no, don't do that. And then some of these judges have conflict of interest. Their daughters work for these nonprofits that deal with illegal immigration. So they're like, oh no, my daughter needs this issue to continue fundraising and making money and keeping her job. Like these kind of things that if Americans do start doing research and start noticing these things, it's going to be very hard for the Democratic Party to really continue this stick that they're on right now. But I digress. Let's continue with the clip.
For the grocery store, like there's an issue here where you could possibly win on, but you're going to El Salvador instead.
It's okay that someone walking into getting their citizenship, walking into their citizenship test, their citizenship meeting, is being apprehended on the way into their next process, which just happened to somebody in Vermont, and it's happening now across the country. Students are being deported and revoked of their student visas. Yes. Many are not being told why that's the case. That should not be happening in the United States. And certainly someone shouldn't be deported.
Even Canada is restricting the amount of student visas that they're having in their country because they notice that it contributes to housing prices increasing because there's more people in your population. It's just supply and demand. Okay, so if Canada's allowed to restrict the amount of student visas, they're deporting more of their student visas, but we can't do it. It's like, what is it? How is this? Like, they don't angle any of this into the interest of the American people. It's almost like, no, Americans, you have to sacrifice yourself and allow these people to take advantage of your country, your system, for some greater good. And that greater good always seems to be for democratic power issue.
And being left in a prison in a foreign country when the Supreme Court says it should be returned back. And so those are the questions. And by the way, as Democrats and as a Congress and a government, we should be able to do multiple things at the same time. We should be able to take on billionaires who are raiding the government. We should be able to take on Elon Musk, who has no business being in charge of Doge. And yes, protecting the civil rights and human rights of people that are in this country and entrusted to us. And so, yes, Scott, we can do all of those things. And it's Donald Trump who actually defined the Supreme Court and whose numbers are going down.
Kate Bedingfield.
I would also just say to your the energy from Democrats is on these issues. Let's also look at the elections that have taken place since November.
Yeah. I honestly, I didn't find the congressman compelling at all. I'm surprised he's a congressman. You ain't saying nothing. Okay, you want me to feel sorry for the guy? I feel bad for him. Okay, but he came into this country illegally, right? If I was poor, destitute, I had my 2 kids starving on the side of the street, and I decided to rob somebody to get food, and today I committed a crime. And no matter my sob story, I'll be held accountable. That's all we're doing. That's all Donald Trump is doing with these illegals that came here illegally. I'm holding you accountable. And someone giving me loopholes. Oh, look, I'm gonna exonerate you. Oh, you have, oh, poor boy. Here, I'll waive your charges. But what about the people I victimized? They don't have any justice. They're like, hey, how's that fair? He give you a sob story and you let him out free. He robbed me. Yeah, I'm sorry. I feel bad for his starving kids, but that don't give him a right to rob me. And that's what people are looking at, this deportation issue. It don't give them a right to just come into the country and do whatever they want. During the Biden administration, a lot of these illegals had no respect for this country. In New York, attacking New York officers, getting let out on no bail, no cash bail laws in New York, abusing the system. You got migrants on TikTok bragging about how to take houses from other people in the United States of America, treating it like a third world country. All the assault that there was going on with American women and their daughters. I'm not going to continue going down the line, but Lincoln Riley, all these stories, Democrats have nothing to say. Oh, when you hear the stories, I think the minds of the American people will change. Jake Tapper comes back. We have been telling them stories, but there's other stories too. And the Democrats' inability to acknowledge the other story is why I think they're in this situation in the first place. But, I digress. Enough from me. I'd like to hear your thoughts and perspective in the comments section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Please share this video if you feel so inclined. It really does help me out in the algorithm. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.